All right, y'all. Hey, what's up? My name is Dawn. Back at it again with Mothers Like Me, episode 3. If you haven't checked out episode 1 or episode 2, please do. But I got my lovely guest, Key, who's going to also tell her story, just like I've said before. And then, we're just going to do a little girl talk. We're just going to talk about, things that we do on our daily in our life. And I'll ask her questions just to help her out. So, we're not seeing her by ourselves, right?
Right.
So, all right, Key, you got the floor.
All right. So how do you want me to start?
Yeah, just tell your story. You know what I mean?
Well, so my name's Kiasha.
It's okay.
Ask me questions.
It's okay. So basically, we're just gonna start off like, how did you and your kid's father meet?
Okay, so my son's father name is Kenneth. We met because of my little cousin Chevelle. What was we doing? I was just it's a place called Acorn in Oakland. And
Like
we were
Acorn?
Yeah.
No,
We
I'm
were
just kidding,
walking and he wanted to talk to me. But I think he was a little shy. So then she ended up calling me one day, telling me he wanted to talk to me. So then I went to talk to him.
Right.
And then I met him in Acorn. And then after that we was just talking.
Yeah.
We was in a relationship for like 2 years before he passed away. I had my son November 9th, 2011. He passed away August, I want to say.
Okay.
August 28th, 27th.
Okay.
One of those dates. It's been years. My son is 10 now.
Got it.
So that was like almost like 10 years ago.
How long ago was it when he passed?
That was like 9 years ago.
Got it.
Right before he turned 1.
Got it. And do you feel like he asks you questions now about that day, or do you feel like?
Not really.
No.
Because he has his granny, his other side, so that's who really like talks about him and like let him see all the pictures from when his dad was a baby until that day.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that he would, once he gets a little bit older, he's gonna ask you a little bit more? Do you feel like at least that he gets his, relationship with that side, it still makes his name like alive and everything else for you?
Yes, he does ask like little questions here and there, and he do want to visit his gravesite more, and then he do draw him like pictures, paint him pictures.
Yeah.
And he has his backpack and he makes them put Dolo back. That was his name. Dolo.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he even painted a picture of his shirt, like a white t-shirt.
Really?
Of his dad. And he put dad.
That's what's up.
He didn't really get to like, know him because he was so young.
He was so little. Yeah. I mean, how do you feel like with you, like once that stuff happened, where were you at? What place were you when he passed away? Because obviously you weren't thinking that when he passed, obviously you weren't thinking when I get in a relationship with this man, he's going to pass away. Right? And then you have a kid with him, you're still not thinking, okay, he's going to pass away. But then he did. What were your thoughts at that moment? Like, what did you think about, like, for future-wise?
I had no thought, really. I felt like I was so hurt. Like, it was just so much happening at that time. Because we were getting into it, and then he passed away, and then it was like...
So how old were you? How old was him? How old was he when you guys passed away?
I want to say it was like, when I calculated 20 minus 10.
Yeah.
I was like 20.
Got it.
20 years old.
And you guys were the same age?
Yeah. He was just, because his birthday was December 31st, so he'll just turn the age older.
Older.
So it was
Yeah. So
like
you're pretty much
20.
the same age. Yeah, got it. So to me, so now going further, you say that he doesn't really notice. Is there times where he feels like or expresses to you more like, oh, well, it would be this way if I had a dad? Or does he say anything to you that makes you feel like, you kind of wish that at times he was here?
Just like, he don't really say a lot. He's such a quiet little boy. He's very to himself. But on his birthday, November 9th, that passed last year, he wanted to see his dad, and his grandma took him to the gravesite, and I know he just broke down completely. Yeah. So I know he has a lot of feelings. He's very quiet boy. He don't really express it. And I know as he get older, it'll get worse.
Yeah.
Because you walk around, you see everybody with their fathers.
Tell stories about his
sports.
stuff.
You see other people with their fathers. It's just me.
Natural. Yeah.
So it's like, I know he
does feel that type of way. Yeah. How do you feel like your guys' relationship are? Like, obviously when he was little, he really didn't know what's going on. But now you said he's 10, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel like now that he's getting older, do you feel like he's more protective towards you? Do you feel like sometimes he is not, I wouldn't say rejective towards you, but do you feel like sometimes he's more like angry because he can't express certain things that's going on right now? And like his emotions and feelings?
I can feel him being sad a lot.
Yeah.
I can feel that. And just seeing him like one day just drawing for his dad, and I think like it was like last week he drew something. He was like, "Oh, this is for my dad."
Yeah.
So I know.
Yeah, that he's saying those different type of things.
He just keeps it all inside.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like, do you ever feel like, I don't know. I know for me, so the more when my kids were younger, I didn't see it too much. But once I got a little bit older, I started noticing just little things like mood swings. And I know everybody says, oh, there's normal teens, there's no more this, there's normal situations. But I felt like that he's getting older is like things that he wants to tell me, or the feelings because he doesn't have, because they're absent. Because like you said, they go to school, they're talking about, oh, my dad this, or my dad that, you know what I mean? It's like they don't know how to say, well, if I had my dad, because I used to also ask, it wouldn't be this way. Yeah, like there's sometimes I used to ask for my kids, like try to pull things out of them. But then I've learned from other people that they would tell me, like, you're trying to give them words, or you're trying to get them to speak. Why don't you just let them speak? You know what I mean? And I think that came from me, from the situation, just trying to, heal a wound that I think that we can never heal.
Right.
Because I feel like as a mother, if they hurt themselves, we put a Band-Aid on it. If they're crying, we wipe their tears, we hug them, we hold them. But this is something that we can't actually like protect them from. Yeah, put a Band-Aid on. Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing I know that I feel like I struggle kind of with, is trying, not overcompensating, but like trying to work with them to maybe talk about their feelings and stuff like that. Do you try to do the same thing with him, or?
Not really.
No,
I don't. But I you saying that, I'm learning as you talk.
Yeah.
Because I do need to get him to be able to express himself more comfortably.
Right.
And I do need to let him go and see his dad more. But it's just like, if you heard me too, but I can't think about myself,
Right.
I have to,
you gotta be selfless. I think having kids, you have to learn to be selfless. But also having children with an absent father, not absent meaning they're not there, but a passed away father, it just even makes it even more, because you can't really get mad at anything, because it's just life. You know what I mean? All right, so like we were saying, so you said you haven't took him to the grave. When's the last time you've been to the grave?
Last year.
Got it.
It was a funeral, and then we walked over.
Why do you feel like you haven't took him, or what are your feelings on taking him to the grave?
It just, I guess it brings back a lot in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really talk about everything.
Right.
So,
do you feel like you're still healing from it? Do you still feel like?
It's definitely still a healing process, because as he gets older, you feel and you see so much to where it's like, dang.
Yeah.
He needs his father.
Right.
in his life for so many different reasons.
Right.
I can't teach him a lot of things that his father would,
Right.
And
do you see things that he acts like his dad, or does things like his dad that she's like, because I go Frankie had a moment recently, he did something, I was like, it was just like you sound just like your daddy. I couldn't even help it. But it's like, that's what I was saying. Like, does it brings things back, because they can't help it, even though they weren't raised. Genes are real. You know what I mean? Those are live. So you see a lot of those things in him.
Yeah, he looks just like him. Yeah. It's a way his dad used to wear his beanie. It's kind of crooked. Yeah. The way he do it, it's he looks like him even more. It's super cute. He walks like him a little bit.
Do you ever tell him these things?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, long story short, I met this lady and I was talking to her and she told me, again at AT&T, she was telling me that her kids don't always talk to her, and I was like, why? And so she's older, and she was saying that her kids passed away, and when they got older, they got so mad that they resented her because they're like, we never could talk about him because you weren't done healing. And they're like, you're selfish because just because you weren't done healing, we didn't get to learn about my dad. We didn't get to know about my dad. We get to speak about my dad that I didn't even really know who he was. So she was like, if I can give you any advice, if they want to talk about him, just please let them talk about him. If you see things about him, say it. So I was like, wow, I'm so glad. And I really thought that was a blessing of God that told me that, because I was fresh in it. So I was like, okay, let me keep saying, say certain things, let them say certain stories. Or tell them certain stories, say certain movies, like, oh yeah, your dad watched this movie, because it makes them feel a little bit more connected, like, oh, okay, like I am like my dad, or like, he is me, you know what I mean? I think that it helps them also not heal in a way, but it might
them feel better.
Yeah, it makes them feel like they have a connection, you know what I mean? And it also makes them feel like they can open up and actually talk to you about it. Because I think a lot of kids, even though we don't think it, I think that they feel like they don't want to hurt our feelings. Like they don't want to say certain things because, oh, my mom might be sad about it, or I don't want her, to cry or whatever. So they actually try to protect our heart, but really it's vice versa. We're still trying to protect their heart. That's why we don't say certain things. But I think that it's really good for us to tell him, like you just said, it's cute. You know what I mean? So that means that's something that he has naturally that he didn't even know that he had, the beanie that tipped to the side. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. That's cute. That's something that he naturally has. But I feel like that's, especially with boys. I think mothers like us that have sons especially first. Women are tough too, but I think we're naturally, we have that natural ability to forgive. But I feel like with men, it's like they harden a lot, and if we don't somehow try to soften that harden, they just become more harder and harder and harder the more they get, older. So I feel like things that we can do to make them realize who they are, it helps, you know what I mean? Because okay, so for instance, you have him, he's your oldest.
Yes.
And then you have two more now.
Yes.
How do you feel like he feels with the other two? Do you feel like he feels like a different love because he only has you and then they have other families? Or do you feel like he feels like he's more of a part of
Well, I feel like it's really all the same because, my youngest one, he doesn't have his father either.
Right.
So it's he sees that he only have, his father's side.
Right.
And not his father. My youngest son, he don't have his father either.
Right.
He has his father's side. Now, it could be a different feeling with my baby.
Right.
Because she does have
her rotation and
and they do, stuff. He asks a lot, oh, where's Chloe going?
Mm-hmm.
Where's she going? And I'm like, what are other people?
Right. What's her other family? Yeah. No, because that's what I was asking, because it's funny, just with our two little and our older ones, when they leave to their grandparents, they're like, where are they going? It's like, oh, they're like, we're going to grandma's. And they're like, grandma? But it's it's not their grandma, but they're like, grandma? And it's like, no, they're going to their grandma's house. And it's that feeling, you know what I mean? That they're going somewhere else. So that's why I was just wondering if he ever feels a little different.
Yeah, I can see it with Chloe. The good thing about his dad family is Kenneth's granny is also my other kid's granny.
Oh, okay.
She loves all my kids. So it's his family is also their family. So it's
that's good. So he has multiple families, basically. Yeah. And I always tell my kids, because my oldest was funny, or not my oldest, my twin, he was like, what do they mean by it takes a village to raise a kid? I'm like, it takes a village. He was like, what village raises a kid? But I'm like, that's what I mean. The more grandmas, the more aunties, the more cousins, the more, friends, family, whoever makes them feel loved, that helps. You know what I mean? Because if you only have us, we get worn down when it comes to patience. We get worn down when it comes to our days, you know what I mean? Our stress levels and everything else. But if you have someone else who's like, go relax. And, now we're taking you, we get to have fun and everything else. When they come back, they get a chance to miss us, So that's what I was trying to explain to us, but they're kids, you know what I mean? How much can you really explain to kids? But what I was going to also ask is, so say, because you know that I want to do my nonprofit, I want to do the organization. So say you were where you were at when he passed, and you said you were 20 when you met him. And if you guys were together like 2-3 years, so you're probably like 23, 24 when it passed. What would have helped you if I had my organization going on? Like, what would have helped you if you could have called and see what's going on? Because, I mean, you have your mother, right? You have support in your family. What did you need at that moment? That just would have helped.
I feel like to have an organization that you want and to be able to call, I will want, like, what is it? Like, where they help you, like when, I forget.
For placement.
No, not Social Security. What is it?
Assistance in general, like general assistance.
Like far as like help me wise.
Right, living wise.
Because
where were you? Were you living with your mom?
I was living with my mom at the time, but I just got approved for a place that me and him was
supposed to live at. Okay, got it. No, it makes sense. You're trying to make you guys had your kid. You're trying to make your family, so you got approved of that. And then once that happened, did everything just go to? Yeah.
Because I didn't. I know they have like the 211 phone call.
Right.
But they're very slow.
No, they are.
If I
know what you're talking about too.
Was able to call you and be like, hey, I need assistance with
help. Can you call them? Can you refer? Can you tell them what's going on?
Better.
Got it.
I feel like a lot of us, we need counseling.
For sure. And if you don't have certain medication, if you don't have certain insurance or money, it's really actually hard to even get into these, because I was like you. I was trying to, honestly, I'm a person that's hard for me to ask for help. So I didn't want to ask his family for anything, and I didn't really want to ask my family. So it was like I wanted to figure out myself, but it was so hard because everyone just gave you all these things. Well, you have to have this, you have to do this, you have to be this, you have to, and it's like, can you just help me? Like, I have 3 kids now, I have no father to go to. Like, is there something you guys can do for me? I don't want to live off of anybody else. I don't want to ask anybody for money. I was working, but now who's going to watch my kids? You know what I mean? So it's like
child care system.
Right, child care system. I would love to have been able to put them in therapy or put them in, not even if they need it. Like I was telling,
I think everyone.
Everybody
even when
needs
they feel
it.
like they don't.
Yeah. Do you feel like, in the like our culture and Black people culture, do you feel like we have a stigma on therapy?
Yes. Because you don't know, but I've tried counseling and stuff like that, but I'll talk to friends. I'm like, no, Kesha, you don't need that.
Right. What you need that for?
But when I talk
Pray
to
about
her,
it, girl.
I feel better than talking to you.
Yeah.
So obviously it's working.
Yeah. I was just talking to a few friends. That's why I was asking you, and I feel like we all have the same stigma that we couldn't actually have any type of mental health growing up. Like, oh, you have anxiety? Oh, you fine. Just, you need a little more sleep or you need some water. Like, first of all, why does water help everything? Why do you know that water helps everything? You just need some more water. No, I'm not dehydrated, okay? I'm stressed. There's a little different. But I realized that it was like, oh, if you talk about therapy, then you have a problem. But I wasn't saying that I think everybody has a problem. We all have problems. Our parents had trauma that they dealt with. I mean, if you think about how we got to America, we were slaves. So we all came into America with certain type of issues. But the problem is that we don't like to deal with them. Let me change that word. Not that we don't like to deal with them. I think that we were taught to deal with them, just push through it. Yep. Just push through it. Everything's going to work itself out. Don't talk about it. It is what it is. Life happens. You're a big girl. I'm bigger. And that's the whole problem. And the reason why I want to do my organization is because just like with us mothers, oh, you lost your kid's father. It's fine. You'll find a new one.
It's like nothing.
Right. What do you mean I'll follow a new one?
Hard.
Because when I find a new one, that person already knows that I already have a baggage that I didn't ask for. They didn't ask for it.
Don't accept that.
They don't accept that. They see us as mothers. Oh, that's great. You got mother things that you do, but they don't realize when you're in there, you have to really be in there. You know what I mean? You have to really take on someone that now doesn't have a father. You have to be an example. Not an example as stepdaddy. You have to be an example now as a real father. Really as a man. And sometimes even when men are just being stepdads, it's a little easier because you know that all the load is not on you because they have their own father. So you got half a load. Yep. But when you have to be a father to a child that has no father, it is totally night and day. And I talk to a lot of mothers, and the problem with us is how I think reason why we get stuck on certain men. It's like, you didn't just love us, you loved our kids. And now I can't be with you because of whatever reason, and now they lost again.
And that's why
right. And isn't it so much harder? It's so much like pain more, because it's like, dang, it's not just that I lost him. Now I feel like I'm always losing in a way. You know what I mean? Not in a like a bad way, or in a way that people don't even realize, because when he leaves, he has his everyday life. He's not worried about yeah. And like I said, I don't knock people, but I think that that's exactly why I keep wanting to have these, podcasts, these YouTubes, these awareness, is that, yeah, we all have our things, and we all experience in life, and we're all trying to figure out where our space is. But when you come into someone's life, especially like us, mothers like us, we already have something we dealt with that we didn't choose, but we're still now trying to do the best that we're kind of do. Put the pieces together, because every day is something different. Because let me bet, if you told me that I was going to meet their dad, and then at 28 I was going to lose him, I would say, yeah, me. Yeah, pick me. I want to lose him at 28. No, you wouldn't have said I met him for 2 years, and then, yeah, he's going to be gone. Well, why would I waste my time? That's how you would look at it. But at the same time, we did it because we didn't know he was passing away, and now we have to deal with it. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, this is exactly why I always talk to other mothers, because I'm like, it is a whole other ball game when you have to explain yourself to a person. And sometimes it's hard for you to even explain yourself, because we're just learning ourselves.
That's why we need this, because it's like, you're taught we're doing this, but I'm learning from you.
Exactly. So. And every time I talk to a person or a mother, it's crazy, because every time we talk about like, well, when they were younger, I really didn't see it too much. But now that they're getting older, if I can literally like screenshot that one quote, it would be right now about 11 women, just from me having my first episode of me trying to reach myself out, talking to moms, trying to get them to talk like you did, which again, I appreciate it. And I would like to cheers that you did do it, and you are at least doing it with me, because it takes a lot of courage to come up here and be vulnerable and actually talk about the things that you're going through and the things that you went through. And I do also want to praise that you are doing it. You're not doing it just one, you're doing it with 3. I mean, you go out there and you work, and you still make sure that they're good. Like, it's so easy. And if people look at you like, they're like, oh, she living her best life. Because I ain't gonna lie, on your birthday, I was like, okay, girl. She was out there with a little cute little outfit. I was like, okay. And that's what people see. Okay, you're cute. You're venturing, you're traveling. Your kids are cute. Oh, you must be good. And behind the scenes, you're like, can I stop crying today? Like, because I have my days. I'm like, is it just me? So I have a thing every time, because my son's about to turn 15 on the 17th of March. So when they were little, I used to always cry, and they used to be like, oh my God, you're embarrassing me, right? But the whole time, they don't know all these things I'm going through. I'm thinking about, oh, their dad would be, all this stuff. So I do this new thing. Every time I go in the shower, and I just cry it all out. Like, I think and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Let it out. And then the next day, I'm like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and forget, and they don't know nothing. Because before, I would be at the parties, and I would have like panic, because it would be so much. So I've learned that if I cry the night before,
see, look, I'm learning
before their birthday, then I won't do it. Like, it won't do it. No, I used to have you ever saw the little dinosaur? Or like, what is it called? Or is it called the little dinosaur? It's with the little caveman, and the dinosaurs have. I
think I know what you're talking about.
And he lost his dad because he was trying to help him, and he slid down and he fell. Anyways, long story short, I was crying, and the kids were like, Mom, are you crying? I was like, no, I'm not crying. Can you stop? Everyone can see you. I was like, we're in the movie. Who can see me? So I'm trying to act cool. I was like, okay, I can't do this no more. I'm gonna try to get my life together. But it's hard, because like I said, they don't get it. Like I said, the more they get older, now they're starting to have little moments. Like, I have to spaz out. I'm like, because I feel like they used to beat me up. Like, you know, like even though they don't realize it, and mind you, I have 3. At least it's 1, so you have a whole, like, I'd be like, feeling like I gotta be a ninja, because it'd be like, one does it, the next one's having a problem. I'm like, can you I'm like, I can only do so much, but I'm trying everything I can. Like, that's the part they're not understanding. And if I could just never have to talk to them or never have to have a problem with them, my life would be great. If I've never said nothing to you and I just walked in the house and everything was great, I'm like, what? But that's not what it is. And a lot of it is the things that they're going through too. And I'm trying to explain that to them, you know, as being a mom, I'm trying to be a therapist and a cook and, you know, a driver, maid, a maid, a tutor. Like, I'm trying to do everything, and it's not exactly possible. And it would be just great sometimes
if
like
that one person
was just there. Because like I was just telling my friend, I want to be the good guy. I'm tired of always being the bad guy. And I feel like I got to be the bad guy because I have to be mom and dad.
It's hard.
No matter what. I always have to be mom and dad. And it'd be great sometimes to be like, get your kid.
Right. Baby,
come on. You know, your daddy's outside. Right. Your daddy's outside. Just an hour. An hour.
I've never felt that. It sounds and it looks amazing.
Right.
Like, babe, can you pay this bill?
Right.
Like,
right. You know what? This is just a lot to me.
Football.
Can you take him play football? Because I know nothing about football. Let me repeat, nothing. Like Frankie said, so we're playing. They just got on 7-on-17, and he's like, well, if my mom would have put me on the team earlier, I said, well, I wanted you to play basketball. Because you know what sport I played? I played basketball. I didn't play nothing else. Maybe some volleyball, which he does not want to play. So you want to play something I wouldn't even thought about. I don't even like somebody to hit me. Like, no, I do not want you to hit me, touch me. So I'm telling him, like, yes, obviously, if, you know, during that time until Gerald came around, I would have had, his dad probably would have, because he used to tell me all the time, my mom wouldn't let me play football because of my asthma, but I always wanted to play. So I know he would have let. If Frankie was younger, he would have, because he would have lived through them, which is fine. That's what dads do sometimes. That's why the greatest football players and basketball players are the greatest, because their dads lived through them. But I unfortunately just did what I did. I just threw him into whatever he said he wanted to play. He never brought they never brought up football. And 2, I'm a mom. I'm like, football.
I know.
You know, like you hit, like, you know, they're gonna hurt themselves. Like, I don't want them to hurt themselves, you know. So, but the way when I talk to my cousins and I talk to Joe and everything else, and now that I see him, no, I'm screaming like, just hit him, like, you know, just get him, you know. But I know now. I know that because of the comfort of a man, and that's also why I always say I get why you need sometimes, not sometimes, you need a mom and dad, because I'm a woman, so I'm going to be the love, affection, nurturing,
I know. But see, I felt like his dad passing away, I wasn't able to be like, you know, the love.
Yeah. It was too fast.
Hardened. And it's like, okay, I try and do mommy and daddy, and then like no matter how many years go past, you know, I have my moments. I sit in the car and just be like, why did this happen? Like, I know you can't question God why, but it just be like, it's so much. You doing everything on your own. But
you know, everything happens for a reason. There's a purpose for everything. You know what I mean?
It's life.
It is life, yeah. But at the same time, I think that it's okay to not be okay. And what I have learned, because like you said, I've always been taught, like, well, what are you going to do? You're just going to roll over and die? You know what I mean? Or what are you going to do? Just roll over in a rock? Well, maybe today I am.
Right, let me just feel it.
Let me just feel something,
just
you know?
Today.
Because it does. It's not fair. It sucks that we have to do what we have to do. It sucks that it's not always, you know, peachy. But I think that that's also what helps us. Because like you said, there's times I'd be in the closet and Joe opened the door and he's like, are you crying? Like, and I'm like, am I a good mom? Like, I swear I tried. And he's like, what do you mean are you a good mom? Like, are they good kids? And I'm like, yeah, I never thought about it. I'm like, let me think about that. I never thought about that. I'm like, oh, you know what? And this is like right at the shower, right? No clothes, and I'm just putting through stuff. Like, you know what? You're right. I'm like, those aren't good kids though. But I'm like, you know, we always try to put everything on us because we try to be that superstar. We try to be that, you know, superhero and teach ourselves we are supposed to do everything. And that's one thing I always want to let everybody know, or every mother that's in our position. If we aren't good, our kids aren't good. So we do have that stress, and we always have that eye on us, like, you better be doing good. You know, your kids only got you. Like, number one thing, you know, the kids only got you. Oh, you want to drink and driving? The kids only got you. Do you know you want to do drugs? The kids only, no, I'm just saying I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying it's just so much stuff that's on us. You know, you don't want to eat good. You don't want to work out. Like,
I know, like,
it's like the kids only got you. That's the whole thing. And it's like, I get that. I understand that. And I'm trying to do the best thing I can do. But at the same time, were they saying that at that time? You know what I mean? So we just got to live our lives the best that we can do. And that's also why I always want to start this organization, to let everybody know it's not just you out there. We're all dealing with it. We're all stressing. We're all trying.
And probably you could even do, like, not group chat, but like a community where we all probably get together sometimes. Nights. So and talk about everything.
Exactly. Like topics.
Doesn't matter if it was yesterday or today. You're gonna feel.
It could be 6 years. It could be 9 years. It could be yesterday. It could be a couple months. I feel like you don't get over it. You grow through it. Period. You just grow through it, because just like you were saying, there's times when I was looking up pictures with, like, my kids. I was like, whoa, I had a moment. And it's like, okay, bring it back. Because I taught myself how to bring it back. But it was like, whoa, like, you know, it did happen. And it's still having moments today. You know what I mean? It's like, it's something that it will never go anywhere. You know what I mean? It's never going to go anywhere. But what are we going to do about it today? You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to, how can we help other people or other mothers like us that are in this same situation, that just want to know why me, or mad, or not even, like, you know, I saw this lady, she was on Instagram, and her whole thing is like, her whole Instagram is about, like, sugarcoating stuff. Like, she lost her kid's father, and she's like, why do we have to be happy every time we see other family? Why can't we say, yeah, we're mad. We're so glad that you have your family and I don't have mine. Why I can't be mad? Why do I have to say, oh, I'm so happy for you? Yeah. Why do I have to say that? But I mean, I understand that's also a negative thought. So one negative thought's going to create a whole bunch, a whole life of, then you're going to hate the whole world. But at the same time, I feel like as devil advocate, we still can be upset because they didn't get chose it, but we got chose it. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, yes, I can look at it as I am that stronger person, but at the same time, I'm looking at it as, but why do I gotta be chose to be that stronger person? Because there's days I'm sad, just like everybody else is sad. You know what I mean? But I do believe that if we can make a team together where we all unite together, and it don't always have to be sad. I don't want all these, you know, to be sad. Yeah, I want to have happy moments about good things we do. I want our kids to be able to, because one thing I have realized is that when other kids are around other kids that's in the same boat, they don't feel like they're alone. They don't feel like well, everybody else has mommy and daddies. I don't have one, but it's like, okay, wow, you look happy. Like, okay, you're right. You got your mom. Right. This? Yes. How are you going with this? How do you do with people that ask you certain questions? Because please believe, I remember when my kids were little, they used to be like, where's your daddy? And I know, especially with my twins, it would always get them. Frankie would be like, he's not here. Like, he was just so calm with it.
When Kenneth's school, send papers or something to the parents of Kenneth Jones. Yeah. How about you just, send it to Kiasha?
Yeah. No, I get you.
He can read.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so he can read his papers. Yeah, no, I completely understand. Like, I get what you're saying. Because I feel like sometimes with my kids, they see certain things, and I know they feel certain things, but it's hard for them to express it or put it in words. You know what I mean? So I feel like as mothers, we're trying to help them put things in words. But I have learned what works is just letting them sometimes be. Yeah, just letting them have their own moments. Let them fly through what they've, let them fly their own wings and do what they do. It's just because I think that moment that happened, it scared us to try to have some type of control on something, because we weren't able to control that moment in our lives, But again, I feel like it's gonna reward us. I feel like in the end, I do believe that if we keep positive and we put this this good energy out and we have all the mothers, I think that this won't just be right now. I know right now it's this little YouTube or this little podcast that we have, but I think that it will be huge if we keep having different stories, because it's not you, it's not Yolanda, it's not just me. There's a lot of women that have their own name, their own stories, and it may be long-term, short-term, crazy story, not so crazy story, but they all have a story, you know, and their kids still live here. Like, that's the part. It's not just us. It's not just the story of losing a person. It's us now having to deal with our children who are now in a new, like, I don't know for you, like, what do you, well, your baby was so young, but I know for me,
no memories, and that's what hurts me the most, you know, because it's like, I could think about, like one time his dad used to help me do my hair. So he used to blow dry my hair out, and I used to put a weave in. I used to try. And I don't know why, but we thought I did my own weave better than a lot of people. But like he would help me do that, and like, his dad was probably like my last real relationship, and that was 10 years ago. I was extremely comfortable.
So do you feel like that's a problem with you right now, like dating? Do you compare everything to him?
Yes. Okay, so I don't let myself be 100% comfortable with other people. Like, I'm very like should I?
Yeah,
or should I
timid,
not? Or
second guessing.
I second guess everybody now. Yeah. Like, he was the last
love of your life. Yeah.
Right,
right, with them. No, that's seriously, yeah.
But
yeah, do you feel like that was a part that maybe holds you back even today from actually like having that attachment? Because I know you have other kids, but do you feel like maybe that's why? Because you looked at that and you're like, maybe I should have had that, but I lost that, so I'm so scared of losing that again?
Yes, I'm very afraid of that. It's like, God gonna have to choke me. For me to be like, and I feel like right now he's choking me. I'm trying to like get out of that
choking him
feeling, and I'm trying to, you know, be more how open. I was, more loving and more
compassion. But I also feel like that time in our life, we're younger, we're older now.
We're just louder.
Yeah. Excuse me. I also feel like we're kids. And so we're open to what we did, or even not, because some people weren't kids, but you're open to having that love. And I've learned, because I did. So like going back to what we're talking about, therapy, I did actually take therapy kind of because I had to for my job, but I'm thankful that I did it because
it helped you.
I did not think so. Please believe I was about to walk in that place. I was like, I'm just going to act like I have a problem so that they give me all this time off, you know? So I was like, I promise you, as soon as I sat down, she said nothing. She was like, so tell a little bit about yourself. 2 seconds, I was like, so I was like, I promise you, they just get to you. I walked in strong, like, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just saying, you know. And then second, I started crying, and I was just like, wow. But when I was done, she really told me a lot of things that reassured, like, yeah, this is real stuff that I do deal with. That these are things that I struggle with. I'm not crazy. Like, I am dealing with a lot of trauma from this situation and happening, and you are scared. You're scared that you're gonna lose somebody, and it's that loss that is like a type of PTSD. If you actually Google it, it's a type of PTSD, because loss is scary, especially when it's too soon, or you know, it's something that repetitively happens. It is scary because that's all you think about, like actually not even thinking about it. It's like consciously, unconsciously, you're now thinking like, I may lose this person. So now people that you may talk, you may not think about them that serious. You may not take it that much serious. But it's like, that fear.
Okay, like a guy I've been talking to, like, okay, he's not answering. So why is he answering?
Right.
Wait.
Now you're thinking,
like, let me check Instagram. Let me make sure, you know, nothing happened to him.
That's my first thing.
Woo, I'd be so scared. It's really like
I be with my friends. They're like, why you not answer phone? I was like, he could be dead. Like, I hate to say, like, don't say that. I'm like,
but it's something that,
but I'm like, once he says that he's okay, forget you. Like, you know, don't talk to him again. You know? But once that person knows, once you know that person is fine, don't ever talk to him. No, I'm just kidding. But no, for real. Because that's the scary part of, like, having something happen is the scary part of not answering. Because please believe, when my kid's father passed away, I called him multiple times, but because we have that like at that moment in our lives, I was like, whatever, like he's just being annoying. But my mom called him 1,000 times, and my mom doesn't really call him 1,000 times, but she was like, no, there's just something's wrong going on. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, just go to sleep. And then when I passed out and I got the call, like I got multiple calls, and they're like, you need to be here at this, like right now. And I'm like, who are you? And he was like, all they had to say was, it's because of Frank. Pulled up, put the kids in the car, flew wherever I flew. Like I did like 100. Couldn't even see. Mind you, I'm blind. Didn't have no glasses on. I was in the back of Oakley like doop, 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 doop. But it was just like I just felt it. Like, you know, I felt that it wasn't like a good call. It was that bad call. You know how people say you hate that call? Like, yeah, it was that call that was like the nasty, disgusting stomach. Like, were you first called or did
So we broke up and we were getting into it so badly. Yeah. But that day he was trying to get back with me. So literally we were texting. Literally, he was telling me to come out there. And I was thinking about it because I had my baby. It was at my friend's house. So we was thinking about just getting a ride, going out there. We were literally texting. And then this guy that I know, he's not from over there, but, he's from West Oakland. Okay. He texted my cousin, like, tell Kiasha to check on Dolo. That's what they called him. And I'm like, what? I literally was just texting him. About to go to West Oakland. And I called, he didn't answer, and then I think I called his mom. I think that's what it was, and then we tried to rush to get to Highland Hospital. We ran out of gas. I had to beg somebody, like, for gas money at the gas station in East Oakland. Yeah. And then we got some gas, and then we drove to Highland, and I'm walking with my son in my hand, and I think I can just hear, Lord Jesus.
It's okay. I get it.
I think I just hear like people like saying like, you know, he passed away, and I just like everything just shut down. Yeah. And I just started hella crying, crying, and I was holding my son, and like
it just made it even more real.
Yeah.
Especially having your baby. That's not
he
explainable.
Was so little, like,
yeah, that's all you could think about is that he's so little and his life and his future and what.
And he was so happy to have a freaking son. I wanted him to be a girl so badly. No, I wanted to buy girl clothes, everything.
Who are you telling? I had a whole tattoo. Okay, so Araya is Araya, right? Because her daddy named her. But I wanted her name to be Aaliyah Marie, and I was because I believe in threes. So my cousin had a daughter. My other cousin had a daughter. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to have a daughter. I was so happy. I was like, yeah. He's like, no, I'm gonna have a boy. I'm like, no. I was so serious on having a girl. I was like, you can name him anything you want. If I can name her Araya Marie Sanchez was gonna be her name. Alana. Sorry, it was gonna be Aaliyah Marie Sanchez was supposed to be her name, and I had the tattoo, hella cute, hella name. Well, he does all that cute stuff. Boy, when they told me it was going to be a boy, I said, no, you better look again. Look again. They're like, no, it's a boy. Do you see the PP? I was like, I wanted to be a boy. I knew it was going to be a girl. And he was so happy. He's like, yes, it's going to be a third. It's going to be a love. It's going to be so happy. Oh, just take me home. I don't care anymore. I was so upset. So, yeah, I feel you when it comes to like passing away. You're like, man, this is you. Like you wanted this, you know. And I mean, I love my son, but that he always wanted.
Always wanted. Yeah. Like he has seen, like, you know, his dad used to play baseball and football. So I think that's why he wants to play football now. He did not like baseball. Yeah. But it's like,
yeah. And I think that's what I mean. That always gets to me too. Is always because you're always thinking about what they think about. That's why I said before, birthdays always cry. Because I remember we used to, like, you know, lay up and be like, what is they going to be when they grow up? Like, or what are they going to look like? And I was like, ugh. I always used to say, Frankie's going to look just like you. He'd be like, I know. Like, he's been so special. I'm like, well, at least I'll have the twins. Like, I used to always be like, at least I have someone that look like me. And then, like, Araya, his nickname is Sita. Because he's like, Sita, she got just like you. And I'm like, I know. But then, I used to always get hella sad because I'm always like, I could already picture like her walking him down the aisle. And so that was the instant thing I thought about, like how you're thinking about, oh no, like my baby, like you wanted him, was always my thing, is like, who's gonna be that daddy to her? You know what I mean? Because for me, my dad was my best friend. That was my road dog. That was my homie. Like we used to talk mess together, but that was who made me feel like nobody could tell me anything. I walked in the room, he would be like, who's that? I'm like, like he pumped my head to make me feel like my mom, we're cool, but if my dad didn't make me feel that way, I may look back on life like I may let any man do anything. But my dad was like, no, sweetie, who are you? You just made me always feel so good about myself. So that's the main thing I kept thinking about. Yeah, I thought my boys, but I kept thinking about my daughter, like, who's gonna who's gonna make her feel like there's nobody else that could ever top her, or nobody, I want her to have standards. And I always feel like, especially with women, men, your daddy makes that standards for you. That's the true. Men in your life make that standards for you. Because if, like, I know women that's like, my daddy wouldn't take me there, and you're gonna take, you know what I mean? Like, so they already have that confidence, they already have that beautifulness inside them, because they're like, my dad created me, and if he tells me I can, so I
you can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me nothing. And I think that's the best thing that a dad could ever do for their daughter. So it was just, that was my thing I kept thinking about, was Araya. Like, man, like, yeah, Frankie too, because he is his dad's name, but I feel like I'm a woman, so I'm going to teach my son how to be to a woman, you know what I mean? How I feel like he should be to a man. But then growing up, I started realizing, like, whoa, like, I'm not a man. How am I supposed to teach him how to be something I'm not? And then the roles reversed. I was like, well, it's actually a little easier to teach my daughter because I am a woman. What am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? So it starts, I get that feeling that you felt, was like it's a struggle, because you want to have them be everything possible that you know that they could be, Yeah. Do you still have a good relationship with his family?
Yes, his mom, Gigi, that's like my mama. His auntie, his dad friends are in his life. That's a good thing. Not all of them, but like some of them are, and that's what's really important. Like, it's one friend that his dad had named Frank. He comes to all Kenneth's birthday parties. He invites me and all my kids to like his kids' birthday parties. Like,
and that's his dad's friend?
Yeah,
that's what's up. And his name is Frank. That's a good name.
Oh my gosh, he's there for him. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because he needs that. Like, when stuff be happening,
no,
I'll call his dad friends.
Like, hello?
Kenneth,
right. Is this normal?
It's one name,
right.
So I'll be like, Reese, he like, it's good.
It's normal, because I'm telling you, I used to freak out about certain things.
Yes.
And be like, is there something wrong with my kid? For real. And then you get your guy friends, or you get your cousins, your uncles, whatever. It's like, baby, that's normal. I'm like, are you sure? What they say is normal. It's like, okay, cool, because we don't do certain things that females do, and that's, again, like I said, to recap on everything that we have talked about, I feel like as us moms, there's so much of us learning, and if we don't have certain people to talk to lean on, to cry on, to talk about, we don't know what to think about. We don't know how to treat them. We don't know how to teach them. We treat them when we can, but
and what we know, but it's so much.
Well, we know that there's so much more,
learn.
or we think that we should enable them on so much, and now they can't do anything, or we're too hard on them, and we're like, wait, they do need certain breaks, And so, bringing it back to what I want to do is bring my team, build my team, bring my organization to be able to have women like us, mothers like us, that can come together and make everyone feel safe, not alone. Ask us questions, confidence, you know what I mean? I want to have days where it's just mommy days, where we just have like makeup and beauty and cute, spa days, or just hike days, because please believe us getting our mental together is a big thing. Working out, and it don't even mean heavy duty like what you see on Instagram, okay? I mean, it just walk. Just a really walk of all of us together, seeing something beautiful, getting ourselves outside, getting some melanin in our skin. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes just getting away from the things that we stress about or not trying to think about. I also think just us having resources and helping each other out, because I feel like when we become a family and we build these relationships, you want to do more for other people. And I think that's something that we have bad in our society, and a lot of us being different cultures and everything else, is that we're always like, why her, or why this, or why that, instead of us being, what can I help you with? You know what I mean? And I think that if we help each other more in building each other and helping each other more on what we can do for each other. And I'm big on, like I said, mothers empowering other mothers, because we deal with the same things. Please believe today was very hard for us to get together, okay? Because our kids are crying, everything we were trying to deal with, like, praise God that somebody helped us out. But it was hard because we are mothers and we don't always have babysitters, and we don't always have the time to be able to put them where we need to put them, just for us to have these days and express our moments, or have our moments where we talk about these things. So please believe it's real. And like, again, 1,000 times thank you. Thank you anybody that supports us. Thank the people that watched us. Thank you people that have shared us, subscribed, everything that you guys do. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really do, because it means something. It really does help us. And once we are very big and huge, and our kids are able to see this, they're able to know a story. You know what I mean? Like you said, you don't really talk about what's going on.
But I'm learning,
but
from hearing you. Okay, let's talk about it more.
Yeah.
Let's, have days where we just express, just that feeling, the hurt.
Yeah, let them speak, let them saying things. And mind you, you might not have noticed that until years later if I didn't say, we haven't talked about it. And there's things that I've learned from women that are older than us, women that are younger than me, that have told me things. I was like, wow, I should try that at home, So the whole point of this is being aware and learning and letting you know you're not alone. It's not just me. It wasn't just Keith. It wasn't just, Yolanda. It's not just us. There's a million of us women out there that are struggling and wanting, and like, we don't ask for help. I don't ask for help.
I don't like to.
But I need to learn to.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody for, again, watching us. And I'm going to tie it in. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you for expressing yourself and being vulnerable, because I know it's hard. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for hitting the notification button that I learned from my kids.
Like,
share, please. If anybody you know needs to hear, please. Also, something I did want to put is in your comments. If there's anything that you want me to ask us women, or you want me to ask, or you want to know about, maybe you're a mother just like us and you're struggling with it. There's something that you're struggling with and that you really need some questions with. Mind you, we're all watching and we're all looking at all of our episodes, and we talk to each other. So we can respond to you, we can tell you, or I can privately tell you. But if you need something, you're struggling with something, or you need help with something, please just let me know. Please question, even if you want to do it on the side, you don't want to comment on our page or on my page, that's fine. But I would love for you to just say something, like, please, so I could talk about it the next episode, or I could just tell you. I would really, really appreciate it. And again, everybody that you hear on this page is their story. It's the way that they saw it, and it's the way that they feel about it. So this should be no hurt towards anybody. But I appreciate everybody that watches and everybody that, even takes the time to share. Again, this is Mothers Like Me, episode 3, with my best beautiful friend, Key. And I appreciate y'all. But we out. Thank you. Peace.